Welcome back to the Mad Dog Farm. This is a bit of an update video, just let you know certain things that are going on. You'll notice this large thing in front of me. Little gauge on top, little pressure weight. Now, you might all have seen pressure cookers over the years. This is the Hobbit's pressure canner. I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but she does do a lot of pressure canning of food. So vegetables that we've grown in the garden. She buys the dog's food raw, cans it, because it's shelf stable when it's canned. We was freezing it, but it's a lot of rigmarole. And obviously you've got your power to run the freezer. This way, we don't have to have as many freezers running, so she cans it. I'll say it's not brand new anymore, but the handles keep coming loose. So while we're waffling on, I will use some thread lock on the old screws in here. Yeah, it's a bit of a quiet time of year. Tina's still working, so I'm sort of stuck at home. Ludo's been in for an operation last week. He had a big fatty lump on his right hand side, and I don't know if you can hear that. That's Ludo's teeth chattering. I've got the camera out, and they're just a pair of knobs. Ludo, calm yourself down, mate. I've got the camera out and I'm tightening up this pressure canner. They associate this camera with the guns, and I've not got a gun out today. But yeah, so I'm gonna take these handles off, pop a bit of the old thread lock on because they keep coming loose. I think it'll be that one there. So what I've got to do is put some thread lock on it, put it in, but I can't tighten that up until I've got the lid back on, so I'll have to do this quickly. It has got a spring washer on it, but for whatever reason it keeps coming loose. But a bit of the old Loctite jobby on there. Get that back on. Quickly do this side. Hopefully this will just stop it from coming loose. I mean, it doesn't really vibrate that much, so I don't know why it does come loose. So that's that. Tighten that up, and now I can just tighten these up now. First little job of the day done. Just make sure it opens and closes. Job is a good one. Due to the weather, we've brought in 6 chilli plants that we're going to try over winter, varying from jalapenos to cayennes. We're going to see if we can get them through the winter and ready for next year. It's just a bit of an experiment, really. Other jobs that we've been doing. We're getting all the equipment together to get onto solar power. We're not going to be going off grid. All of this solar stuff I've been putting over on the Ben's Garage channel. If you're interested in that, you can see it over there. We've ordered 2 lithium batteries, the frame and rails for the solar panels, and I've ordered a lot of electric connections, wires and stuff to join up to the grid. We're not going to be feeding to the grid, but we'll still be using the grid as backup, because we've only got a 5 kilowatt inverter. If we're demanding more than that, rather than the inverter shutting down, the grid, oh no, it doesn't work like that, does it? If your solar panels aren't putting out enough power for the inverter, it will top itself up with the grid. So it's all quite clever stuff, but eventually we do want to go off grid, get a second inverter, and that'll give us 10 kilowatts into the house. We're on 12 kilowatts at the minute on the grid. We're on 3-phase, so 2 inverters. We'll be able to add to the batteries as and when we need to, and we can just add solar panels. We can have up to 6,000 watts going in solar panel wise on the inverters, up to 450 volts, so that's quite a lot of solar panels outside. Luckily the solar panels are quite cheap, really, about 130 euros each for 380 watt 24 volt. Anyway, that's that. Most of that's over on the Ben's Garage channel. I'll say I've just done the pressure canner for the Hobbit. These dogs are really doing my head in. I've got this camera out and they're just being twats. Come and lie down, Ludo, come on. Unbelievable. Yeah, so if anyone's interested in pressure canning, let us know in the comments below, and I'll do a little video and I'll get the Hobbit to show us the ins and outs of pressure canning. I mean, I understand it and I know what she does and that, but it's her little thing, the pressure canning. I'll do a video on that if you're interested. Other things, we've chopped down a tree out the front. I'll put a picture up now of that. We've not tidied it up out there, so it's still sort of stumps sticking out of the ground. I'm not going to dig that stump out because that's quite, the electrics run underground over there, and I don't want to be disturbing any of that because that's the last thing we need. Where there's the main trunk sticks up, we're going to level that out, probably put a bird table thing on it so we can feed the birds out there. At the minute it's just out here on the decking because we do like to feed the birds at the winter. The other tree we took down previously, that's already done. What else have we been up to? The garden is, all the potatoes are out of the ground. The Hobbit's done all of those. We've been canning quite a few potatoes. We've still got some in the Hessian sacks over there, sort of sat over there in the dark. We've got to do something with those, whether it's can them, freeze them. We do want to do some wedges, frozen wedges, that sort of thing. So we've got parsnips and carrots still in the ground. None of the brassicas really did much this year. All the onions and garlic have been out and stored. What else we got out there? All the fruits and berries are finished. We've had a couple of pumpkins. I made something with pumpkin the other day which was actually really nice. I am going to be doing a couple of ebooks. I have got an ebook out at the minute which is Gardening in a Wheelchair. I'm just at the moment writing an ebook on our little farm in France, our trials and tribulations, all that kind of thing, what we've done wrong, what we've done right, things not to do if you're planning on doing this sort of thing. That's in the process at the minute, but I've got a couple of other little ebooks that I want to write because I do have quite a bit of time on my hands. I'm going to do a chilli cookbook and a farmhouse cookbook, just recipes that we've brought together. I mean, I know people say, oh, you're copying such and such a recipe, but at the end of the day, those people have copied someone's recipe. They haven't just plucked it out of thin air, have they? If it's a recipe that is just directly somebody else's, I will credit them. But quite often we modify somebody else's recipe to suit ourselves, and we like, if we like it, we like it. So I'll be doing a farmhouse cookbook and a chilli cookbook of recipes that we do with our chilies, because quite a few people that have tried our recipes, as in the chili relishes, the jams, the chili sauces, all go down really well. There's not been one that nobody said, oh no, I couldn't eat that, it's awful. So that's in the planning stages. I'm doing all of that. So if you're interested, just drop us a comment. see what sort of thing you want to sort of see. So outside we've got the gates to do. We're going to we're moving the gates in front of the garage so that we can have the whole property fenced in, and then when I'm up in the garage the dogs can come up and see me. That's the plan for the next outside plan for when it's nice. Obviously the weather's nice today, but the Hobbit's working. And her job sort of tapers out towards the end of October because the campsite's pretty much shut down. There are still jobs that she can go and do, maintenance wise and stuff, but it will be sort of quietening down, so that will give us time to do some stuff on our own place. So that's it. We want to get the gates done. We want to get out the front here, fenced off all the way across the front, so that you can get all the way around the house without having to go through gates and stuff like that. What else? Preparing the beds for garlic, because garlic you can plant anywhere from now right through till January for next year's harvest. You can plant onions. You can plant winter onions now, so they'll be ready sort of late spring, early summer, and then obviously you can plant them again in spring for later on in the year. So that's a possibility. We've got to get a couple of beds ready for that, get the rotavator back on the tractor, and then over on the other beds. Now the Hobbit is, when she was at work the other day, they was dealing with these paloxes, I think she called them, palox. Basically, it's like a big box, a wooden box, quite cheap. They're obviously second-hand, but they're good and strong. So the plan is, the campsite where she works, they're ordering about 30. So we've put in an order for 10. And what we're going to do with those is line them out with some membrane or something so that water can still get through. And we're going to have them as raised planters. But we're not going to just fill them all up with compost. We're going to do hugelkultur because we've got so many trees up the end there where we've cleared the woods out. So hugelkultur is you start on the bottom with big trunks, a layer of big stuff, and then a layer of branches. And as you come up the layers, you get smaller and smaller. Over time, that will all break down, and that'll be worm food and stuff like that. And obviously, at the top, you put a good layer of compost, which we've got. A good old pile of compost coming along over there with all the grass cuttings and all the vegetable peelings that we get throughout the year. So that'll be going in. So that'll be raised planters for quite a lot of the stuff. So 10 of those, and I think they're over a metre long. They might be 1.5 metres long by nearly a metre wide. So they'd be quite a good size for a raised planter. That would be ideal for me in the wheelchair. We're still going to be growing stuff in the ground because we want to grow stuff to see us right through the year. Be as self-sufficient. We want to be as self-sufficient as possible. Generating our own power, growing our own food. We've got a chicken house we're going to be putting up. So chickens are on the menu, but we're just having them for eggs for a start. We probably will do meat birds. I know a lot of people, how could you? But we're in the countryside, and if you don't know where your food comes from, meat doesn't come from a supermarket in a nice little packet, does it? So that's that. We're talking about having a couple of pigs at some point, so that's for the future, and that could be coming along on the channel if we get some pigs. Now, when we were growing up in Lincolnshire, we had pigs, and yeah, they were fantastic. Obviously raising them was quite good fun, but the meat that you got off them, I know this won't suit everybody out there if you're vegetarian, vegan or whatever, but yeah, so that'll be coming along. Now Tina is on about goats or a cow for milk. I'm trying to dissuade her from that. Because at the end of the day, animal side of it is she's got to look after them, because I can't, in the wheelchair, it's pretty difficult to do that. So pigs I don't mind because they can pretty much look after themselves. You can feed them and make sure they're watered. Goats or cows for milk, you have to milk them twice a day. A cow would be a hell of a lot of milk, and goats, I don't mind goat's milk, but it's like we was talking the other night, goat's milk, goat's cheese, I like it. I don't know whether I would like goat's milk in a cup of tea, because it would just give it a funny flavour. You would probably get used to it. But before we go down that route, she's going to go up the dairy and see if we can buy raw milk from up the road, which if we can do that, that'll solve the milk issue. Now that some people that Tina knows and works for, they do cows. You know, they've got a small farm, they do cows. So there might be a possibility if we do pigs, they do cows, we can swap meat. We'll come up with some arrangement that we can do something like that. Or we just go in, buy a cow, basically. I don't know how much a cow costs, but it's all options. We're trying to get us self-sufficient, live off the land, make our own power, sort of off-grid living, basically. I know we're not out in the wilderness, but we're out in the countryside. We have got neighbours. We've got the farmers over there, and the houses all around the back there. I think they all grow vegetables and stuff like that. So if the shit really was to hit the fan, I think this sort of community would be ideal. Really, you've got neighbours around you that are sort of like-minded, growing vegetables and stuff. You've got the farmers that are rearing cows. Yeah. So that is pretty much it for this video. I thought I'd just do a little bit of something and keep you informed of what's going on. Because I don't put much content out on this channel at the moment, because obviously I've got the Ben's Garage and I've got the Mad Dog Air Guns. On the Mad Dog Air Guns, that might be changing sort of next year, because it won't just be air guns. I've been getting in touch with a shooting club, basically, and it is really easy to get my shooting licence, which will be a category C, which will allow me to shoot shotguns, rifles. I can have semi-automatic shotguns, but you can only have like 3 rounds in the, 2 rounds in the magazine and 1 in the chamber, so 2 plus 1, which is a bit pointless really. But and I think rifles, you can only have so many in the magazine, and they've got to be manual. You can't have semi-automatic. Semi-automatic becomes category B, which you can get a category B license, but that means a lot of time on the range under an instructor. With a category C, basically I don't even need to do anything. I have to do it through a club, but I don't even have to shoot at the club. The license is held at the club, even though I've got the physical thing, but the license is held at the club. So the Mad Dog Air Guns might be becoming something a little bit more next year. So keep an eye out for that one if you're into a bit of shooting and all that kind of thing. And that's pretty much about it for this little update. I can't think of anything else to tell you, so that'll do for now. And I'll think up some more videos for this channel for the future. So if there's anything you want to see, let us know in the comments, and I'll knock a video up and come up with something. So I hope you liked this video. Please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.